Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the branded new session. And in this session, there will be two parts. The first one will be I'll teach you Metasploit from the most basic level to most advanced. And once we're done with it, we will perform a hands-on, like we will hack into a machine called Blue. So at first you should learn how Metasploit work, what does Metasploit means, what is Metasploit, xyz, each and everything. So basically Metasploit is a widely used exploitation framework which have mainly two versions. Remember, Metasploit, we use Metasploit for automation to exploit vulnerabilities. Okay, it has so many modules and so many exploits that you could use against any machine to hack into it. We have Metasploit Pro and Metasploit Framework. Metasploit Pro is basically a commercial version with a graphical user interface for task automation and management. And remember, it have a graphical user interface with the web interface too. We can mainly use it for automation and management. After that, we have Metasploit framework. So the Metasploit framework is the open source version, command line based. So it is basically command line based, means you will need to use it through terminal, commonly used in penetration testing on Linux distribution like attack box. So you can use it for penetration testing in Linux distributions, and even though you can install it in your Windows machine too, but not recommended at all. So basically, to we have different components. We have mainly three components of Metasploit framework: MSF console, which is the primary command line, and then we have modules. The modules include exploits, means you can hack into the system using exploits, and we have scanners that you could use to scan your targets. Then we have a payloads that you could use against the target. So yeah, there are some more, but let's not talk about them right now. And then we have tools. So basically, Metasploit is standalone tool for vulnerability research, means you can do vulnerability research. I have teach you in vulnerability 101, if you remember. There I told you we will explore Metasploit. So yeah, basically you can use it for vulnerability research, vulnerability assessment, or penetration testing using MSF Venom. Okay, so let's use it. How you can basically use Metasploit? You will just need to go to your machine. If you are using for the first time, I'll recommend you to just update and apt upgrade your machine and wait until the entire system will be upgraded and updated. There will be so many benefits, like you will not face any kind of problems with any kind of software or application that you want to run or script. So you just need to type MSF console, and this is the command with the help of which you will be able to open your Metasploit framework. And you can clearly see it has been opened, and this is how you could possibly use it. Like you can use it for recon, for exploitation. There is a lot of payload and so many things. So basically it have 2403 exploits, 1000 plus auxiliaries, and 42 post-based exploitation. Now what does post-based means, I'll tell you, don't worry. We have more than 1000 of payloads, we have encoders, and the rest of the things. So we have so many things. Now you can run normal commands inside it, like clear and so many things. You can clearly see it is MSF6 Venom. So basically MSF, yeah. After that, we have some key concepts, like exploits, vulnerabilities, payload. So basically exploit, code exploiting a vulnerability on a target system. Yeah. After that, we have vulnerability, flaw in target system. Remember, vulnerability is flaw in target system, which when exploited may disclosure confidential information or allow us to code execution. So basically with the help of vulnerability you can just hack into the system. Okay, and exploit is basically a code exploring any vulnerability on the target system. After that, we have a third number, payload. So basically code that runs on a target system, code that runs on a target system giving desired results. Like if you want to access the system, then victim machine, then you have to run some sort of payloads on the victim machine, then you will be able to perform what you actually want. We have Metasploit modules, like auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are basically the supporting modules, means you can do scanning with the help of Metasploit, you can just do crawling with the help of Metasploit. And we have then post. So what does this post means? Useful in the final stage of penetration testing, which is basically a post exploitation. Means once you gain the initial access to the system, what next? You have to escalate your privileges, you have to further exploit that system, you have to do post exploitation. And this kind of modules are very useful in that cases when it comes to post exploitation, means enumerating the system further or hacking deep down into the particular system that you have already gained the initial level, like increasing your privileges from a normal user toward a system administrator and so many things. All right, we have then different commands in our Metasploit that you could possibly use. Remember, whenever you will hack into the system or whenever you will create a payloads, these are the things that will be definitely required. So basically, our hosts, our host means the IP address that belongs to the target machine that you want to target. So that will be the R host, and then there will be a R port too. So R port basically on the open port are vulnerable, port on the target system or target machine where the vulnerable application run. So you can just attack through ports. That's why you have to provide the ports with R port with R host. R port and R host are simply referred to the target IP address and target port address, port number, sorry. After that we have a payload. You have to set up payload, so code to run on the target system. Then we have local, basically L host IP. You can set L host, it is for local machine, means your own IP address, you can set it up. Don't worry, we will see all this stuff in our practical, so just don't worry, just listen to my words carefully, right? No, this is something really really important. Okay, you have to use the Metasploit framework a lot in your penetration testing journey. That's why I want to teach you on most advanced level and details level. So basically after that we have L host IP address and L port number. L port, so L host means your own IP address, your machine IP address. Okay, and L port means the port where you want to get the connection back, reverse connection. So that will be you will need to set up the L host and L port on your own machine. L host will be considered as the attacking machine IP address, means your, and L port will be considered as the port number on which you want to get the reverse connection. Like last time I used 1337, if you remember. If not, it's okay. We have additional components like encoders. In basically you can encode your payload to invade the antiviruses. Like if there is chances to detect your payload, or you can say exploit, you can use encoders in order to encode your payload, so there will be a less chances of if it is detection. Then we have evasion modules attempting to directly invade antivirus. You can also use this evasions module in order to bypass the antiviruses. Sometime it works, but in modern world applications, I'll be honest with you, it didn't work at all. You have to do this thing customly. So then we have exploits, which is basically organized by the target machine. And we have we have some knobs that you could possibly use in buffer overflow attacks and other things. So I'll not go into it right now. Okay, it is buffer, as a buffer overflow didn't include in offensive security path. After that they just remove it. After that we have payloads, code run on the target machine category as a single stager and stage. So basically we have different type of payloads like single payload, stagers payload, and stage based payload. So basically these are the codes that will be run on, that you will need to run on the target machine in order to get the reverse connection. I have already told you how you can open the Metasploit, so you can basically use MSF console in order to run the Metasploit. After that, if you want to search for any module, you can literally search for it by just providing the name of the module. let's say search scan. So you can see that we have different scanners, auxiliary scanners that you could possibly use. So let's say for example, I'll just do it in this way. So let's clear the screen at first. You can see that we have WordPress registration, SQL injection, authentication is required. So like this kind of modules, or you can say that exploits you could possibly use. You just need to type the number of it. If I scroll down, there is a lot. There is a lot. You can see that we have name, uh, disclosure date, rank, and check whether it is checked, whether it is not, some description about the particular module, or you can call it payload. So after that, we have in some enumeration modules, like you could possibly use it. You just need to type use and then the number. For example, I want to use 6 number, so you could possibly use it, and you can clearly see they have picked it automatically, which is basically a scanner for WordPress cart SQL injection. So you can literally use it with the help of just typing. First of all, you just need to type search, and you will need to search about any module. Then you can use them with their name or with their number. After that, if you want to learn more about that particular module or payload or exploit, like clear the screen, you can use it by just typing show. Let me see, we have anything else? Okay, show options. You just need to type show options. It will give you all the details that they require in order to execute the particular script. In order to execute this particular, we basically call it module or exploit. After that, you can set the values. Like for example, if you want to set the IP address, you can literally do it. In this case, I'll go back. Let's say yeah, I'll go back, and let's say I'll search s smb v1. Let's say it was the vulnerability, eternal blue vulnerability in our Windows machine, when the hackers exploit WannaCry. If you remember, they just hack into the so many system with the help of WannaCry ransomware. So basically, you can use it by just copying the name, or you can just copy the name, or you can even though use the number. So you can just type use and then paste it. So yeah, this is how it looks like. Then you can just type show options, and here you can clearly see it is asking for L host and L port, and then it is asking for R host and R port. Let's set them. So you just need to type set L host, which will be our target, which will be an attacking IP address, in this case mine one. So I just need to type if config, um, if config, and you can clearly see my tunnel 1 IP. You can use it. If you do not have tunnel 1, or if you are not working, if you are working outside with a real machine, you can just use it your ethernet IP, or your yeah. So basically, let's use this one for the sake of the tutorial. And you have successfully set it. After that, you just need to set the port. Let's say we have to set the L port, which is basically the reverse connection port. So I'll just type 1337 for example. After that, you need to set up the R host. We use R host in order to set up the victim machine. You can see there is nothing like here. We need to set it. Let's say 192.163, anything. For example, I'm just giving you an example. This is a dummy data. I just want to show you how you can fill this. After that you can just set the port on which the service is running. So let's make it as the default one, or you can even though set it up. So if you again see the show options, you will see that yeah, you have no added the R host here. and you have added the L host, L port, and all this work. This is how these things work. So, and at the end of the day, once you've done everything, you can just type exploit and run the exploit, or everything will be run for you. And if you are lucky, if the vulnerability exists on the target machine, you will get the reverse connection here. Means that no, you will be able to do remote code execution to run the arbitrary commands on the server. Okay, this is how it works. After that, for example, if you get the session, then how you can check for how many systems I hack into it, how many sessions I have. So you can just type sessions. You can clearly see there is no active session right now, but whenever you will get the session, you will definitely here you will find your all active sessions that you hack into, basically those machines that you hack into. After that, you can interact with the session. For example, there is a window machine that I hacked, or a Linux machine, and I want to go into it. So how I can do it? I can use session hyphen I and then the ID of that session. So just session hyphen I, and then for example it is session 1, so you can just go with it. Right now I do not have any session, so remember, you have to use sessions, not session. Okay, so yeah, keep in mind, just avoid these little mistakes. So just you can use it. Right now we do not have any session, that's why it is giving me an error. You can perform nmap scan, which is not recommended at all. We have nmap scanner. You can use TCP port scan, not recommended at all. We have nmap for this. You can use you can set up the payload. For example, if there is any kind of payload, you can set it up by just typing use exploit multi-handler. And then if there is any specific, for example, if there is any specific payload that you want to set, you can set it up with the help of set payload. So yeah, you can set it up. We will see this in future, so don't worry. And after that, for post exploitation, you can use, these are the just keywords that we will possibly use it in future while hacking into different machines. So for post exploitation, you can just use post multi gather, it will work. And for evasion, you can use this. For credential enumeration, you can use this. And yeah, I think it is enough. Then I have typed some payloads. I have typed some commands with the help of which you can possibly create exploits for Windows, or for server that is that have PHP background language, for ASP Windows machine. And even though you can create your own exploit in Python. So how you can do it? You can actually do it with the help of MSF Venom. You can clearly see MSF Venom space hyphen p payload. Like if you want to create it for Windows, you can just type Windows / meter Peter / reverse TCP. Then you can just set up lhost equal to your IP address, your attacking IP address, and then you just need to type space then L port for the L port that you want to set up for a reverse listener. No, you will be confused that hey, what does this mean? Just don't worry, this is something how you can create payloads for the Windows machines. Okay, and then what is the type? So it will be exe based, and you can just redirect the output into a reverse shell.exe, and it will create a reverse shell for you. Then whenever you will execute on any target machine, you will get the reverse connection. This is how it works. We will see all this stuff, don't worry, in our practicals when we will exploiting different machines. So right now I'm just teaching you how you can use it. Even though you can just copy the payload and you can do some modification in it by just putting your own IP address. Let's say what is my IP address? If I type if config, let's say I'm just giving you example. Okay, let's say this one, the tunnel IP address. So I'll just paste it here as an example. After that, you can just set the port, for example 1337 as a reverse listener. So you can just copy it, and then you can just open and clear the screen and just paste the command. The MSF Venom will create the reverse shell for you within few seconds. You can clearly see they have created for me. So if I ls it, you can see that I have a reverse shell.exe, and later on you can execute it on the victim machine. Then you can create it for PHP servers with the same way you can create it for the ASP. Okay, and you can create it in Python too. So far, if someone have Python installed, if they execute it, you will definitely get their Unix based, it doesn't matter which distribution they are using, you can get their reverse connection. So this is how the Metasploit work, and after that we will literally put this all together in order to perform five tasks. The first will be recon, the second one will be gaining access, the third one will be escalating our privileges from normal user towards a root user, then we will crack the passwords, and at the end we will try to find out the flags. So this is how it works. I hope you have learned a lot in the practical, in the theoretical as well as a little bit practical of this module. After that, after this, we are going, to learn to put this all together in one frame that we have learned. So stay with me, because the second part is going to be so much fun. This is going to be a practical tutorial. Yeah, take care of yourself.